Welcome back, Golly Vibes family. I pray everybody is good. This episode, we're bringing up Ariana Grande. She came on my desk today. What she said was shocking. We're going to show a video right now of who her dream dinner guest would be. It's going to shock a lot of you guys. It shocked me. I mean, it's just weird at this point. A lot of these different people that they blow up, that they put right in front of our face, that they allow to elevate into an extreme star, the type of stuff that goes on in their heads. You know, it's really sad, to be honest. But check out this video of what she's talking about when asked who would be her dream dinner guest.
Years ago, before the Dahmer series, before it was in a Q&A with fans, with young fans. It was young fans at the time. It was like, I think it was like in between, like me being Cat and pop stuff. So it was like a younger group. Okay. But it was with a parent. Someone said, if you could have dinner with anyone living or dead, who would it be? And I was like, oh, you're so cute. Who, Mom and Dad, is it okay if I give the real answer? And they were like, sure, I guess. What's the answer? And I was like, I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer's pretty fascinating. I think I would have loved to have met him. Wow. Like, you know, maybe with a third party or something involved. But I have questions. I have a lot to, I don't know. I would love to. And the parents were like, we'll explain it later, sweetheart. And I was like, so I'll just sing problem and go.
So Ariana Grande said that Jeffrey Dahmer is pretty fascinating. For those who don't know who Jeffrey Dahmer is, he was a homosexual who used to lure men into his house, his apartment, and end up taking their lives. Then chopping up their bodies. I mean, it gets sick. He used to have heads in jars in his refrigerator. I can't. I'm trying to grasp what's fascinating about him. Why would you want him as a dinner guest? I can't even get mad at these people like this. Like, I feel bad for them. You know? I feel bad for them. To say something like that, all that means is your soul is really lost and in darkness. To think that Jeffrey Dahmer is a fascinating individual. You know who didn't think that was funny? One of the victims, mothers of Jeffrey Dahmer. Mama of one of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims, Tony Hughes, slams Ariana Grande after she revealed serial killer who murdered and dismembered 17 men was her dream dinner party guest. My Lord. The mother of one of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims, Tony Hughes, has slammed Ariana after seeing revealed who viciously murdered over a dozen men was her dream dinner party guest. Tony, who was deaf and nonverbal, gay model, had been lured by Dahmer to his apartment on May 24th, 1991, before being killed and dismembered. The Thank You Next singer received backlash after she appeared on an episode of the audio show Pod Crush. During the interview, she recalled the moment she told a young fan she fantasized about dining with the murderer who raped and dismembered and killed at least 17 boys and men between 1978 and 1991. I don't think y'all really paying attention to what's being read here. He took their lives. He dismembered them. He would have intercourse with their bodies. You hear, like, that person was very sick in the head. Very sick in the head. I believe he came to Christ while he was in jail, though. If I'm not mistaken. I believe he came to Christ when he was in jail. Ah, yes, we found it. Ratcliffe first visited Dahmer in prison in April 1994 and baptized him as a Christian on May 10th in a whirlpool originally meant to treat injured prisoners After this, Radcliffe visited Dahmer on a weekly basis, providing him with spiritual counseling and leading him in Bible study sessions. So Dahmer actually ended up giving his life, right? Here's what I say. Here's what I'll say about this: the Lord can save anyone, right? What Dahmer did was demonic. I don't look at it as in like that's Dahmer's soul doing that. You get me? I look at it as like this is a possessed man doing this. And the Lord can pull anybody out of their actions. The Lord can pull anybody out of what they're doing. Even though this is sick beyond measure. And for her to say that this is her dream dinner guest is sick beyond measure. Right? But I pray that true submission happen. I pray that true surrender happen. I pray that true freedom happen, which is the Lord breaking them out of spiritual bondage and spiritual jail. Because the Lord is the key, the only key that can bring us out of spiritual captivity. And when you're doing things like this, clearly you are in deep, deep, deep spiritual captivity. Let's continue reading. Now, Shirley Hughes, the mother of one of the serial killer's victims, has hit back at the Star saying, "To me, it seems like she's sick in her mind. It's not fancy or funny to say you would have wanted to do dinner with him." She wasn't having it. It's very disturbing for Ariana Grande to fantasize about having dinner with Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, it's disturbing. But you look at it and you say to yourself, how lost is this child? Pretty lost. Check out this next video.
The role of astrology in your life has meaning, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even tarot cards. When I went to the
Yeah,
studio, you gave me a reading. You've been doing readings on set.
Yeah.
What do you look to astrology for? Is it understanding of what you're going through? Is it an understanding of what will be?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a tool to help us hear what we need to hear sometimes and kind of look forward with hope and awareness, and also reads us for filth sometimes. Sometimes we need to hear it, and just looking to something bigger than us to kind of help us make sense of it. Does that make sense?
This is why I feel bad for this child. She's looking for hope. She's just looking in the wrong places. She's diving into tarot cards. Same type of stuff that Kat Von D was doing until Kat Von D said, yo, none of this stuff is working. I need Jesus. And I pray for her to come into that same situation. People like this are lost. They're lost. They're looking for hope. They don't know where to find it. Everybody around them is in the same position. And everybody around people like that are just her yes women and yes men. They don't ever want to confront them or say something to them that may convict them and bring them into a place of wanting light. That's the problem. They're lost individuals. They're lost children. They're lost adults. They're not even born in the spirit yet. They're not even born in the spirit yet to be babies in the spirit. They're not even born. I pray that the Lord touches them. I pray that the Lord touches this young lady. You know, you've seen her up and down with a whole lot of different situations. You know, who knows what happens in her private life? All you see is her public life. That's all you see. But then again, you see her jumping from man to man to man to man to man to man to man. Why? Because something's not right in her private life. There's torture going on in her mind mentally. Clearly, she's jumping into demonic activity. There's torture going on. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you got going on. I don't care how famous you are, how much money you got. You dive into demonic activity, you're going to be tortured sooner or later. Because it may feel good at first, but all the devil can do is temporary pleasure when God is eternal. Just like when drugs. When I first started doing drugs, it felt good. It felt good. I'm high over here. I'm high over here. I'm high over here. Down the line, it's like, man, I can't even go out without doing these drugs. My goodness, will I ever get off of these drugs? My goodness, my hangover feels like death. But I'm still willing to do drugs and drink because it's gonna be fun for these couple of hours, even though I'm gonna pay for it in the morning. That's torture. I'm torturing myself. It's insanity. A lot of people go through the same thing. A lot of you go through the same thing. It's insanity to dive into temporary pleasure just to come into torture later. And that's exactly what happens on earth as human beings. When it comes to one living for the devil and living for God, we want to live for the devil right now because it's temporary fun. But when you leave this earth and your soul comes out of your body and you end up in hell, you are going to wish and wish and wish that you lived a different life, that you lived a different lifestyle, that you came into a disciplined place in your mind and your mindset shifted to completely follow God instead of following the devil, because now you're at a place that you cannot get out. You know how many different family members that you had or friends that you've had that died and you said you poured out liquor for them, or you said they're in a better place now, but none of their life they were living for God. All of their life they were living for the devil. They were getting high, they were getting drunk, they were partying, they were always at the club. They never lived for God, but for some reason, as soon as their life was over, you say, now they're in a better place. Are you absolutely out of your mind? And you continue doing what you want to do? Having fun, drinking for them, smoking for them? Do you realize many of them are in hell saying, I wish I could come back so I could tell you not to do that nonsense? You're a fool. Wake up. You have a chance now while you are alive. You have a chance now while you are awake. If you are watching this video, it's your sign and your warning. Get right with God. Tomorrow is not promised. The next hour is not promised. There have been many people who've watched my videos and their lives was taken. It could be you. Don't allow this video to end without getting right with the Lord. If you're watching this, it's clearly a sign and a message for you. You were looking for that sign to take that step. This is it. The Lord brought you to this video for a reason. This is it. This is the sign. This is the message. This is the time. The message is for you. Get right with God. Tomorrow is not promised. Get right with God so the Lord can fix you up so you can bring other people into getting right with God. Your testimony is going to reach millions. What you have to say is going to bring other people into salvation. Be the person that brings them in. Be the person that brings your friends in. Be the person that brings your family in. Be the Moses. Be the Noah. Hallelujah. This message is for you. I love you guys. I truly do. Pray for this young lady, Ariana. Pray for a lot of these people, man. They're lost. May the Lord continue to lift his light. Hallelujah. And shine his light through his vessels, through his faithful servants. Hallelujah. Glory be to the Lord Yeshua HaMashiach. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I love you guys. God bless. Shalom.